Welcome to our channel Coin Star and treasure hunters around the world. Today, we are diving deep into the story of one of the most fascinating coins that hides in plain sight, the 1-cent 1991 Lincoln penny from the United States of America. Yes, that small copper-colored coin sitting in your drawer or change jar might actually be worth far more than just 1 cent. Stay with me till the end because you'll be amazed by how this little 1991 Lincoln penny, bearing the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln and the words, "In God We Trust," could be worth a lot of money depending on its minting errors, condition, and rarity, some even valued in the thousands and potentially much more. Let's uncover its full history, fascinating details, and reasons why collectors across the globe are hunting for this small yet powerful coin. The 1991 Lincoln penny, often called the memorial cent, was minted during a very interesting time in U.S. coinage history. Designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials, VDB, can be found on the shoulder of Lincoln, this coin carries the enduring image of one of America's greatest presidents. On the obverse side, we see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," arching proudly above his head, "Liberty," on the left, and the year, 1991, on the right. On the reverse side, you'll see the majestic Lincoln Memorial with the words, "United States of America," and "E Pluribus Unum," written above, and the denomination, 1 cent, below, a design that stood proudly from 1959 until 2008. But what makes the 1991 penny so special? Why is this simple cent coin, worth just 1 cent in face value $12 million, suddenly being sold and auctioned for hundreds, thousands, and sometimes even tens of thousands of dollars? The answer lies in the small details, mint marks, striking errors, and condition grades that separate ordinary coins from extraordinary treasures. The 1991 penny was minted in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, with no mint mark, Denver, marked D, and San Francisco, marked S, for proof coins. The Philadelphia and Denver mints produced hundreds of millions of these coins for circulation, but certain variations and errors make some of them incredibly rare. For example, collectors have found 1991 Lincoln cents with off-center strikes, double die obverse, die cracks, and missing letters, all of which make them highly desirable. Imagine finding a 1991 penny where the "In God We Trust" lettering is doubled or where Lincoln's face is slightly shifted because of a misaligned die. Those are coins that can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. Some rare 1991 D Lincoln pennies with minting mistakes have sold for over $5,000 because of unique die errors that make them truly one-of-a-kind pieces. Even more valuable are proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, the 1991 S-proof pennies, especially those graded PR70 deep cameo by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can command premium prices from collectors who want perfection. The 1991 penny also comes with an interesting metal composition story. By this time, the U.S. Mint had fully transitioned from the classic bronze composition, used until 1982, to the modern copper-plated zinc composition. That means the 1991 penny is mostly zinc with a thin layer of copper. However, there are rumors and unconfirmed cases of transitional errors, coins accidentally struck on bronze planchets instead of zinc, and if such a 1991 bronze penny exists and is verified, it could be worth thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of dollars, due to its extreme rarity. Coin collectors always keep an eye out for these wrong planchet coins because they are truly once-in-a-lifetime finds. Another factor that determines the value of your 1991 Lincoln penny is its condition. A regular circulated coin might only be worth a few cents, but if it's in uncirculated condition, meaning it still shines with that fresh mint luster and shows no signs of wear, it could be worth several dollars. And if you're lucky enough to have one graded MS67, MS68, or higher by PCGS or NGC, you could easily be looking at a coin valued between hundreds and thousands of dollars. In fact, some top-graded examples have sold for as high as $3,000 to $5,000 at auction, simply because of their pristine condition and flawless surfaces. The S mint mark proof coins, especially those with mirror-like finishes and no blemishes, can reach similar or even higher values in today's market. Now, let's talk about why the 1991 penny still captures the imagination of collectors even decades later. It's not just about its value, it's about the story it tells. This coin represents a piece of American history, a symbol of Lincoln's legacy, and a link to the era of the early 1990s when coin design and technology were evolving. Every time you hold one, you're touching a part of that history, and sometimes, you might just be holding a hidden gem without even realizing it. There are also interesting varieties that collectors have documented over the years, such as the wide AM versus close AM varieties on the reverse of some Lincoln Memorial cents, a detail that can make the difference between a common penny and one worth hundreds. Although the 1991 penny is not officially listed with a close AM or wide AM variation, there are known examples of design misalignments and die deterioration that cause unique spacing or striking differences, making certain specimens very collectible. So, if you have a 1991 Lincoln penny lying around, it's time to take a closer look. Check for the mint mark, examine the lettering under magnification, and inspect the surfaces for doubling or unusual features. If you find something that looks off or different, don't ignore it. You might just be looking at a coin worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Always remember, the value of a coin is determined by rarity, demand, condition, and error type. Even the smallest difference, like an extra line in Lincoln's jacket or a missing part of a letter, could change everything. Some 1991 pennies with strong double die obverse, where the letters or numbers appear to be stamped twice, are among the most sought-after varieties and could easily sell for thousands in top condition. The 1991 penny teaches us that even the smallest coin can hold big surprises. It reminds collectors and treasure hunters that fortune sometimes hides in everyday pocket change. So, before you spend that penny or toss it into a jar, take a moment to study it. You never know what you might have. Many collectors have found their rarest coins simply by paying attention, and your 1991 Lincoln penny could be your ticket to joining that lucky group. In conclusion, the 1-cent 1991 Lincoln penny with "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" on its obverse is more than just small change, it's a historic piece of art, a reflection of American pride, and a potential treasure waiting to be discovered. Whether it's a rare mint error, a perfect uncirculated coin, or a mysterious wrong planchet example, this coin proves that every cent has a story, and sometimes, that story is worth a fortune. So keep hunting, keep collecting, and never underestimate the power of a single penny. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of the 1991 Lincoln penny, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more coin value discoveries, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next video where we uncover more hidden treasures from your pocket change. Thank you for watching, and remember, your next coin could be worth a lot more than you think. In today's exciting video, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1997 Lincoln penny, a small copper-plated zinc coin that could be hiding massive value right in your pocket change. Yes, this humble 1-cent coin, minted in the United States and bearing the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the D mint mark from Denver, might look ordinary at first glance, but some rare versions of this coin have shocked collectors by being worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. So sit tight, because we're going to uncover its history, design, errors, and the reasons why some of these coins are worth a fortune. The 1997 Lincoln penny belongs to the iconic Lincoln Memorial series, which ran from 1959 until 2008. On the obverse, or front side, you'll see the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, which has been used since 1909 when the Lincoln cent was first introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Above his head are the words, "In God We Trust," to the left, "Liberty," and the year, 1997, right in front of Lincoln's chest. Just below the date, there's a small D mint mark, indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. On the reverse, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, along with the inscriptions "United States of America" across the top, "E Pluribus Unum" above the monument, and "1 cent" at the bottom. Look closely at the Lincoln Memorial. If you have sharp eyes, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, just like the real monument in Washington, D.C. Now, let's talk about some quick facts. In 1997, the Denver Mint produced over 4.6 billion Lincoln cents, an enormous number. So, most of these coins are common in circulation and worth just their face value of 1 cent. However, among those billions, a few were struck with rare minting errors, die variations, and unusual conditions that make them incredibly valuable to collectors today. These are the coins you want to look out for, because one lucky find could make you thousands of dollars richer. So, what kind of errors make the 1997 D penny worth big money? One of the most famous types is the double die error, where the coin design was accidentally struck twice by the minting die, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the letters or numbers. If you spot doubling on "In God We Trust, Liberty," or the date 1997, you could be holding a small fortune. Another highly sought-after error is the off-center strike, where the coin wasn't perfectly aligned during the strike, leaving part of the design missing or shifted to one side. Depending on how off-center it is, say 10%, 25%, or even 50%, the value could jump from a few dollars to hundreds of dollars or more. There's also the broad strike error, where the coin is struck without the retaining collar that normally keeps its shape. These pennies appear stretched out and larger than normal, which collectors find extremely interesting. Another rare error is the die crack or die break, where cracks in the minting die leave raised lines or lumps of metal on the coin's surface. If your 1997 D penny has an unusual raised line through Lincoln's face or across the fields, don't spend it. It could be worth well over $100 depending on its visibility and size, but that's not all. Some 1997 D Lincoln pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the wrong metal disc was used. For example, if a penny was struck on a dime planchet, it would appear smaller and lighter than normal, and that kind of error can fetch thousands of dollars at auction. There are even examples of missing letters, partial collars, and repunched mint marks, RPMs, where the D mint mark was punched more than once, creating a shadow effect, another feature that serious collectors love. Now, condition matters a lot too. A regular 1997 D Lincoln penny found in circulation might be worth only 1 cent, but a coin in uncirculated or mint state condition can bring in much more. If your penny is graded MS65 or higher by PCGS or NGC, it could easily sell for $20 to $100, depending on the quality of its luster and strike. But if you have a flawless example graded MS68 red, a near-perfect condition with blazing red color, it could be worth $500 to $1,000 or more. In fact, one spectacular 1997 D Lincoln cent graded MS69 red by PCGS once sold for over $2,500 at auction. That's an incredible price for a 1-cent coin that might still be hiding in someone's change jar today, but what about the history behind this little coin? By 1997, the Lincoln Memorial design had already been in use for nearly 40 years. The U.S. Mint was still producing billions of pennies each year using a composition of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, which began in 1982 when copper prices soared. This change made the penny much lighter, only 2.5 grams compared to the earlier 3.11 grams for all copper cents. Even though the 1997 D penny doesn't have any official varieties like the 1995 double die, its historical significance as part of the last generation of Lincoln Memorial cents makes it worth paying attention to. Now, why are collectors willing to pay so much for a simple error or variation? The answer lies in rarity and condition. Most 1997 D pennies were made perfectly, so when a mistake slips through, it becomes a one-in-a-million find. Combine that with the fascination collectors have for the Lincoln cent, the longest-running coin design in U.S. history, and you get a recipe for big value. Even small imperfections can make a coin unique, and when grading services authenticate and label it as a true mint error, the price skyrockets. If you're checking your change or searching through rolls of pennies, here's what to look for. Start with bright red coins with no scratches or wear. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date for any signs of doubling or misalignment. Check the rim for any signs of an off-center strike, and weigh your coin. If it doesn't weigh exactly 2.5 grams, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet. Look closely at the D mint mark. If you see a shadow or doubling, you might have a repunched mint mark, which could be worth $25 to $100 depending on clarity. and for those who wonder, yes, there have been reports of 1997 D Lincoln pennies selling for thousands of dollars, especially those with dramatic double dies or off-center errors. Some rare specimens have even reached five-figure prices at major auctions, with collectors competing fiercely to own one of these oddities. One error coin, with a massive off-center strike and full date visible, was once valued at over $8,000, and that shows just how much demand there is for rare minting mistakes. So, the next time you get change from a store or bank, don't overlook those pennies. That small 1997 D Lincoln cent could be hiding a big secret, a unique flaw or rare condition that transforms it from a 1-cent piece into a valuable collector's item worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. Remember, treasure isn't always buried underground, sometimes it's jingling right in your pocket. To recap, the 1997 D Lincoln penny is a coin rich in history, design, and potential value. From its tribute to Abraham Lincoln to its intriguing minting errors, this coin tells a story of American craftsmanship and accidental rarity. Whether you're a collector, an investor, or just someone curious about coins, keep your eyes open for those brilliant red cents, unusual shapes, or doubled inscriptions. You never know, you could be the next person to discover a penny worth a life-changing sum of money. The world. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins ever produced by the United States Mint, the 1-cent 2010 Lincoln penny, a small copper-plated treasure that could be worth a lot of money, far beyond its tiny face value $23 million. Yes, you heard that right. The 2010 Lincoln cent, with its simple yet powerful inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and "United States of America," hides stories of history, legacy, and unexpected fortune that make collectors' hearts race. So, grab your magnifying glass, sit tight, and let's uncover the mystery, the value, and the hidden worth behind this incredible 2010 penny that might just be worth a fortune sitting right in your pocket. The 2010 Lincoln penny marks the continuation of a historic chapter that began more than a century earlier, in 1909, when the first Lincoln cent was introduced to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, one of America's greatest presidents. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, Abraham Lincoln, on its obverse side. Over the decades, the Lincoln penny has undergone design and composition changes, reflecting both history and evolving mint technology. But in 2010, a new design appeared on the reverse, known as the Union Shield, symbolizing national unity and Lincoln's role in preserving the United States during the Civil War. This design replaced the 2009 bicentennial designs that celebrated Lincoln's life, making the 2010 penny the start of a brand new era in the Lincoln cent series. Let's talk about the design itself. On the obverse of the 2010 penny, we see the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," at the top, "Liberty," to the left, and the year 2010 to the right. Depending on where it was minted, you'll find either a small D mint mark for Denver or no mint mark at all, which means it was minted in Philadelphia. On the reverse side, you'll find a beautifully detailed shield with 13 vertical stripes representing the 13 original colonies, joined together under a horizontal bar that represents Congress. Across the shield is a banner inscribed with 1 cent, and above it, the words, "United States of America." This shield design, created by artist Lyndall Bass and sculpted by Joseph Mena, is a powerful symbol of unity and strength, and it makes the 2010 penny one of the most meaningful coins in modern U.S. history. Now, when we talk about value, this is where things get really interesting. Most 2010 Lincoln pennies are still worth their face value of 1 cent, but certain examples, especially those with errors, minting mistakes, or rare varieties, can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars to collectors. Let's explore how. First, we have to understand the minting process. Millions upon millions of pennies are struck each year, and even the slightest variation in pressure, die alignment, or planchet quality can create what's known as a mint error. These rare mistakes make a coin unique, and unique means valuable. Some 2010 pennies have been discovered with double die errors, where parts of the design, such as the letters in "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," appear slightly doubled. Others have off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing or shifted. There are even reports of broad strikes, die cracks, and plating errors that give the coin an odd appearance, and collectors pay big money for them. For example, a 2010 Lincoln Shield penny in perfect mint state condition, graded MS68 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch anywhere from $100 to $500 or more, depending on the buyer and the coin's eye appeal. But here's the real shocker: rare 2010 pennies with dramatic errors, such as a double strike or die cap error, have sold for over $1,000 at auctions. And in some private sales, even higher. Imagine finding a coin in your pocket change that's worth 1,000 times its face value. That's the magic of coin collecting. Another key factor that determines value is condition. Coins are graded on a scale from poor, P1, all the way to mint state, MS70. A coin in circulation with scratches, wear, or tarnish might only be worth face value, but a shiny, uncirculated 2010 penny, especially one that looks flawless under magnification, could be a collector's dream. So, if you have rolls of 2010 pennies sitting around, take them out, hold them under good light, and look closely at the details. You never know what treasure might be hiding there. Now let's dive deeper into the composition of the 2010 Lincoln cent. This coin is made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. This composition has been used since 1982, when the mint switched from solid bronze to a cheaper copper-plated zinc planchet due to rising metal costs. Although they look similar, pre-1982 pennies have a higher intrinsic metal value, while the newer ones, including the 2010 penny, rely on collector demand for their worth. Still, a high-grade 2010 penny with a rare error can be more valuable than hundreds of older coins. What makes the 2010 Lincoln penny even more collectible is its place in history. It was the first year after the Lincoln bicentennial celebration and marked a transition from the four special 2009 reverse designs to the new permanent Union Shield design. This makes it a historically significant coin, a bridge between two eras of American coinage. Collectors love first-year issues because they represent change and often become key dates in a series. Many people didn't pay much attention when the 2010 pennies were released, but now collectors are searching through their change, realizing how special they are. So what should you look for if you want to find a valuable 2010 penny? Here are the top things to check. Mint mark. A 2010 penny with a D mint mark was made in Denver, while those without a mint mark came from Philadelphia. Both can be valuable if they have errors or high grades. Doubling. Look closely at the letters in Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the numbers in 2010. Any sign of doubling means you might have a double die error. Off center or misaligned strike. If the design looks shifted or part of the rim is missing, that's an error worth checking. Plating errors. If you notice parts of the penny that appear silver, dark, or unevenly colored, it might have a plating problem. Another valuable error. Condition. Bright, glossy, sharp details with no scratches or wear make a coin far more desirable. Store them carefully and avoid cleaning them, as cleaning can reduce the value drastically. Let's also not forget the proof versions. In 2010, the U.S. Mint struck special proof pennies for collectors, mainly at the San Francisco Mint, with the S mint mark. These coins are made with mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. Proof 2010 S pennies in perfect PR70 deep cameo condition can sell for $20 to $50 or more, depending on demand and packaging. They are especially collectible as part of proof sets, which are often sold out quickly when first issued. What truly drives the excitement around the 2010 penny is the possibility factor, the idea that something as ordinary as a 1-cent coin could turn out to be extraordinary. Many of the world's rarest coins were once considered common pocket change. The 1955 double die penny, for example, was just another coin until collectors discovered the doubling error, and now it's worth tens of thousands. So who's to say your 2010 penny isn't the next big discovery? Collectors also value coins with historical symbolism, and the 2010 penny carries deep meaning. The Union Shield reverse not only honors Abraham Lincoln but also represents the idea of unity and strength, values that are timeless and still resonate today. Holding this coin in your hand is like holding a piece of American history, a reminder of how far the nation has come since Lincoln's time. Now, imagine finding a pristine 2010 Lincoln Shield penny with a dramatic error, getting it professionally graded, and realizing it's worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Many collectors have had that exact experience, some finding rare coins in pocket change, others in bank rolls or inherited collections. So don't overlook your pennies, they may be worth far more than you think. In conclusion, the 2010 Lincoln penny is much more than a simple coin. It's a symbol of American history, craftsmanship, and potential wealth. With its detailed Union Shield design, tribute to Abraham Lincoln, and possibilities of rare errors, it has captured the attention of collectors everywhere. Whether it's worth 1 cent or $1,000 depends on condition, rarity, and luck, but the thrill of discovery makes every search worthwhile. So, before you toss your change into a jar, take a closer look. That 2010 penny shining back at you might just be a hidden gem worth a small fortune. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the history and value of the 2010 Lincoln penny, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your fellow coin collectors. Join us next time as we uncover more rare coins, hidden treasures, and incredible stories behind everyday money that could make you rich. Thanks for watching, and remember, every coin tells a story, and your next coin could be worth a lot of money.